How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the Tramontana R, a wild Spanish supercar from a first-person point of view. At the heart of the beast is a 5.5-liter twin-turbocharged V12 made by Mercedes AMG that produces a staggering 720 horsepower and 811 pound-feet of torque. But the craziest thing is, it weighs only 2,600 pounds, giving it the same power-to-weight ratio and obviously better handling as a Veyron Super Sport. How ridiculous is that? Now, like a fighter jet, you sit in a sequential seating pattern behind each other in the center of a car, giving you an F1 style driving position, and it also has a 6-speed sequential manual transmission where you have to press the clutch in to get it into first gear. And I love how it opens up like a fighter jet, all of the canopies. You can see the inner workings of the inboard suspension setup, which is really, really cool. Olin suspension on this thing. Now, this car is currently for sale at Esser Automotive. It's actually for sale for a really good price. So if you're interested in owning one of the most unique vehicles in the world, make sure to check this thing out. Designed to look like an open-wheeled race car combined with a fighter jet, the Tramontana is actually the name of a dangerous Spanish wind. And man, this thing does look dangerous. Now, to hop inside the car, we've got a button right here, and watch this. You click this button, and the canopy opens up like a fighter jet. You kind of do a little dance to get inside here. Let's climb in. Inside of the car now, and it actually is more spacious than you'd imagine. The steering wheel fits great in your hands. You've got paddles for that 6-speed sequential manual transmission, as well as a clutch to get it into first gear. You also have some climate controls, although with the open top, I don't really think you need it. We have a 4-stage traction control knob right here, and we also have an awesome button where you can change it from 550 horsepower, and if you click this, it puts it into 720 horsepower mode. We also have a front lift system that works really, really fast. And the car actually raises substantially. All right, guys, let's take it out on the road and see what it's like. All right, well, this is easily one of the most ridiculous cars I've ever driven. So pull off the handbrake, foot on the clutch to fire it up. All right, to put it into first gear, push the green button, pull the paddle, one of the coolest sounds ever, and then lightly let off the clutch, and off we go in the Tramontana R in Germany. The visibility in this thing is actually insane, and I love the mirrors. They kind of remind me of a LaFerrari. I really like the steering feel as well. It's an easy car to drive. It shrinks around you, and you can just feel even at 20 miles an hour that this thing absolutely wants to go. And for a sequential gearbox, it's actually very, very smooth, like impressively so. I would have figured it'd be a lot clunkier between gears. And interestingly, I know this is kind of a wild comparison, but because of the mirrors, because of the AMG derived twin turbo V12, this kind of reminds me, and the sequential single clutch gearbox, of a Pagani in a way. And they're selling it for 200,000 euros, which seems like one heck of a deal. I mean, the road presence of this thing is beyond insane. What else looks like this for 200,000 euros? And I imagine it's probably really easy to modify as well. 720 horsepower is obviously plenty, but you could make it even more really easily. Oh, wow. Just a little bit on the gas, barely up the RPM range, and you can feel this thing has a heck of a lot of power. And 2,600 pounds, I mean, this thing is as light as it gets. Multi-stage traction control, probably gonna leave it on the intermediate setting. We've got the lift up now, so let's go ahead and put that down. We're in 550 horsepower mode, so let's go ahead and click the 720 horsepower mode, because obviously, wow, when the turbos kick in, this thing absolutely rips. I love this thing. This is actually a ton of fun. Little roundabout action. Now, it is cold out here and the tires are cold. We're gonna be a little careful until they warm up, but we're gonna take it to the gas station and then take it out on the highway. Now, sorry in advance, the audio quality is probably not the best in the world. I wasn't expecting this not to have a windshield. You can get one with a windshield, and in fact, you can also get one with a V10 engine from an Audi R8, which is pretty cool. But this powertrain is probably my powertrain of choice. Let's downshift a second, give it a little gas. Now, surprisingly, you can't hear that V12 very well because of all the wind. But I think with an exhaust, this thing would be absolutely ridiculous. It rides over bumps very smoothly as well. You'd think for something that looks like a straight up race car that it would be pretty rough, but that inboard Olin suspension soaks up bumps well. Special thanks to Esser Automotive for allowing this to be possible, as well as Omar Murins. I've got a link down below to the ad for this car. And I really do think for 200,000 euros, it's kind of one of the craziest things you could possibly buy. Just to be different, right? All right, so we just did a fuel stop, and then we're gonna get out onto the highway on a de-restricted speed section of the Autobahn, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to do in a car with no windshield, but I am extremely excited for it. This should be a lot of fun. What an experience. All right, let's put that lift down. Make sure we're in 720 horsepower mode. I can't imagine turning off ABS. All right, out on the highway we go. The steering feel is actually really good. Oh my God, this thing is fast. Whoa! When the boost kicks in, it's ridiculous. All right, de-restricted speed section. You gotta be kidding me. All right, I'm losing my helmet. This is pretty absurd. Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie, the freeway is a hectic experience. You definitely need a full face helmet. This car is actually so thrilling, it's insane. A car with no windshield with this much horsepower is actually ridiculous. I don't know if I've ever driven another car that feels quite like this. Oh my God, it's fast. Driving this thing through town is so funny. Imagine commuting with this thing, taking it to work every day. And I do like the fact that you're in this like effectively single-seater race car, but you can actually have a passenger behind you, which is pretty cool. You know, something like a BAC Mono, you can only take one person, yourself. But this way, you could take your friend or your girlfriend, and that would be pretty cool. Certainly a unique experience. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's very unique video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.